All right, hey guys, it's Lara here. So, as promised, this is my update of how my weekend went. So, I'm super happy to say Friday night was perfect. I did not eat anything after dinner on Friday night. And it really I just treated it like it was just another, like work day or whatever. Because that's like the work days when my husband's gone to work and we have our routine of where I always have dinner ready to eat at 5 because then he needs to work out at 6 and we have all that whole routine. I always do good. So that's what I treated Friday like, and I didn't snack at all Friday night after dinner and stuff like that. So I did really good on Friday, and that is huge for me. Like that's the first Friday night that I have not had my treat night in a long time. So Saturday we went over to a friend's place for seafood night. We played games, had beer and stuff like that. So that was my planned treat night for this week. And so that made it easy for me. It was an easy decision to remain on track Friday night because then I knew Saturday night would be my treat night. And so that was fine. So Saturday was like my one day a week that like I say, I'm going to allow myself one day a week where, I go over my calories and I give myself a treat and stuff like that. Because that's going to keep me sane. And that is still fitting in that, 80% clean, healthy, whole foods, 20% treats, sort of rule. So, and I know that if I stick to just one day a week that I am not on track, that I go over my calories and I allow treats just once a week, but the other 6 days I'm perfect. Serena, it's okay. It's okay. Sorry. But the other 6 days I'm like perfect. I know I will get results, and then eventually I'll get to a point where I need to kind of maybe only have treats like once every 2 weeks and stuff like that. But I don't need to worry about that at this point. At this point, only once a week, I will still see results and I will keep moving myself forward. So that was Saturday. That was fine. I started out really good Saturday night because there was like a bunch of there were these stuffed mushroom caps that she makes. They're so good. And this crab dip that she makes that's really good with crackers and stuff. I didn't touch any of that stuff, so I was off to a really good start. And then of course I had a couple beers and I was getting really hungry. So then the main course came out and so we had crab legs with butter and I definitely dipped all my crab meat in that butter like crazy. It's not good. And then she also makes these cheddar garlic biscuits and oh my god, they're so good. And this is where I really failed. I had 3 of them. So that's not good. But otherwise, like I say, it wasn't the worst. And it was my treat night, so it was like, fine, whatever. So then Sunday, I was like up and I was, on track Sunday morning and everything. And my hips were so sore yesterday. I don't know what I did in my workout on Saturday or whatever, but they were killing me. And I've never had sore hips. I've never experienced that before, like right in the hip flexor area on both sides. So Sunday is typically rest day or dynamics, which is a stretching DVD. And so I decided to do the dynamics because I felt like I obviously really need to stretch this out. So I did that, and and then Sunday nights have kind of become steak night in our house. Like it's not something that we really planned. It just is kind of like the last few Sundays has been steak night. And so again, yesterday, my husband's like, yeah, we should have steak tonight because we had leftover crab legs that we got to bring home from the seafood night the night before. So he was like, we can have steak and crab and, and mushrooms and whatever. And usually our steak nights, it's not that bad. I mean, we don't have garlic bread. We don't have potatoes. We typically just have like steak and like vegetables, like mushrooms and peppers and onions. So last night, because we had crab, we had steak, crab, and mushrooms. But my husband also makes this really good like garlic buttery sauce stuff that he puts all over top of it. It's so good. So not good for you. And then also I had a couple glasses of wine with dinner last night. So I ended up over my calories again yesterday. And then last night I snacked a little bit too, just on pretzel crisps. I don't know if you guys, they're like these thin pretzel cracker thing. So they're not super high calories, but still, I shouldn't be snacking at night. So yesterday was kind of not the greatest either. So going forward, and this is exactly what I'm focusing on right now, is baby steps, learning and moving forward. So a big thing for me is that Friday nights has always been my treat night, right? Like it's always been that way. And so I realized that I had like this block in my mind of like Friday night treat night, that's it. Like no questions. But I realized it's easier to plan Saturday night to be treat night and stay on track on Friday night because it still is a work day, so I can still be in the same habits that I'm in Monday to Thursday, in the sense that I plan to make dinner, have it ready at 5, and then my husband still has a workout to do on Friday nights. So we can just start treating Fridays, and I discussed this with my husband because he's on the same path as me. He's trying to lose weight as well, and he's doing P90X3 with me right now too. So I discussed this with him, and we're in agreement that Friday nights from now on are just going to be treated like a regular, work night, except for we get to sleep in the next morning. So Friday, and so this is what I'm getting out of my mind right now. Friday, no treat Friday. It's just a regular day. So then Saturday night's going to be my treat night. And so I said to him, okay, this Sunday night steak night it can't happen because it switches my mind because it's not perfectly clean because and it's high calorie meal, it switches my mind to, oh, this is another night off. So I said, if we want to do a steak night on the weekend, it's going to be on Saturday night, and that's going to be our treat night. And so he agreed with me on that. Like, he's like, okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Like, our two biggest treats that we like to do on our treat night is pizza and steak. So I said, you know what, we'll just choose one or the other. And then if we, like, say this Saturday we want to do pizza night, then we'll just do steak night the following Saturday. It's only a week away. We don't need to do anything like that on Sunday. Sunday night will just be a regular dinner, homemade dinner, healthy, clean dinner that I make. So that's it. I'm learning. This weekend was a lot better than previous weekends, so I'm happy about that. And I've learned definitely Fridays just need to be plain Jane, whatever. I've also learned that I'm going to start grocery shopping on Saturdays, which I did that this weekend, just because it just makes it easier to be on track and plan for Sunday, my food for Sunday. So, yeah, so I'm making these little changes and adjustments, and I think this is a really important thing to learn, because you know what? What has always worked for me in the past isn't always going to work for me in the future, and obviously I need to make some changes. So, so if you feel like you've been struggling, you're in a plateau and you feel like you're struggling with these same sort of battles and stuff, yet you keep saying to yourself, but I've done this for the last 2 years and it's worked. You know what? We're always changing as like we're humans. We're changing constantly, and what worked before isn't necessarily going to work now. Like I say, Friday was always my treat night, and it didn't always carry into the whole rest of the weekend. It was like I would have my treat night on Friday, and the rest of the weekend was fine. But that all of a sudden was not happening anymore. It was like treat from Friday all the way to Sunday night. You know what I mean? It just went all the way through the whole weekend. And so I needed to figure out how to get past that. So moved my treat night to Saturday night. It seems to be working. I think it'll work. So so just kind of take a step back, figure out what's gonna work, and so there you go, my weekend update. I will see you guys on Friday for my weigh-in.